Today we're going to be discussing how to cite textual evidence using MLA format. As you are watching the video, feel free to stop and pause. I have placed a pencil on the slides to indicate to you that that would be a great place to take some notes. So when we cite evidence, we are taking facts or examples from the text to support a claim that we have made. Before you cite textual evidence, it has to be introduced. An example would be the author wrote, according to the text. On page 1 it states, and there are numerous ways that you can introduce text, but you absolutely have to do it. You cannot just start citing evidence without letting the reader know that the information you're presenting to them is no longer your own words. So what this would look like is the author wrote, so he had enough strength of his own and had not needed what the giver might have provided had there been time. And then in parentheses, we have the author's last name and the page number. And this is a quote taken from the book The Giver by Lois Lowry. Once again, make sure that if you want to be a little bit more elaborate, you could say in the book The Giver, Lowry writes. It's whatever you're most comfortable with and how well you think the reader knows what you are talking about. But definitely don't ever leave it out. Don't ever start your sentence with quotations. So we're going to break down what an MLA citation actually is on the next slide. Using the same quote, we're going to pay attention to the placement of quotations, the parentheses, the author's last name, page number, and period. So quotations are placed at the beginning and end of what you cite, or pretty much what you're copying from the text. Once you have done that, you are going to place the author's last name and page number inside parentheses after the quotation. Sometimes it is so tempting for people to put it after, time or in between time the quotations. Please try to avoid that. You want to just put into quotations what the author has specifically wrote. Think about it as the same as when you see quotations in narrative stories. It's a signal that someone's talking. When you put quotations in an MLA citation, it's signaling that the material you're presenting is somebody else's voice. So never put them inside the quotations. And author's last name in between parentheses and the page number. So if you do not know the author's last name, if you are reading a newspaper article or just something that omitted it, don't leave it blank. You need to put the title of the article or book that you were reading. And when it comes to the page number, please don't do more work than you have to. All you need to do is put the page numbers. Use them numerically. Do not write them out. Do not add PAGE in front of it or PG or a number sign. All you have to do is last name or title and then the page numbers. And then at the very end, make sure the parenthesis is placed after, the period is placed after the parentheses. You want to make sure that you include the author's last name, page number, and parentheses as a part of the sentence. It's very tempting for people to want to place the period. In this instance, it would be between time and the quotations because it seems to them like that's the end of the sentence and that's where it should go, which I totally get where that is. But in an MLA citation, you don't want that parentheses and author's last name to be separated from the sentence, the citation. So make sure that that period is at the end of the sentence after the parentheses. So that's pretty much it for MLA citations. Feel free to refer back to this throughout the school year. We're going to be using it for every time we ace a question. And if acing a question is something you never heard of, then feel free to look it up, or I will create another video to help explain to you what ace the question is.